It is possible that the alliance between countries that are part of the BRICS group and Saudi Arabia could prove to be the turning point that ends the dominance of the dollar. Get ready to be captivated as we delve into the fascinating story of how gold is releasing its power and altering global currencies in an unexpected partnership. The BRICS alliance is strengthening its position and challenging the primacy of the US dollar, which is causing the global economic landscape to undergo a seismic shift as a result. Saudi Arabia is the surprise partner that has joined the BRICS coalition. The unstoppable ascent of gold as a formidable weapon in the hands of these new nations is at the very core of this shift. In this article, we look into the dynamics of the BRICS and Saudi Arabia cooperation and how their rising reliance on gold is sending shockwaves through the financial globe, most noticeably damaging the dominance of the US dollar. BRICS stands for the Brazilian, Russian, Indian, Chinese, and Saudi Arabian economies. Saudi Arabia is the largest economy in the Middle East. The partnership between the BRICS and Saudi Arabia. Since its inception, the BRICS coalition, composed of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, has been regarded as a group that possesses the ability to shake up the current order of the global economic system. The BRICS bloc gains even more influence and leverage in remaking the financial landscape as a result of its alliance with Saudi Arabia, a key player in the oil market and a strategic regional state. Saudi Arabia is also a strategic regional power. In the extremely unlikely event that BRICS comes to the conclusion that it should expand its membership to include Saudi Arabia, the very first thing that will occur is that the recycling of the petrodollars will be stopped. The sale of oil by Saudi Arabia provides the United States with an advantage equal to $7 trillion. This advantage could lead to the formation of a bilateral currency exchange deal, according to which the BRICS countries would not have to purchase oil in dollars, particularly India and China, which are the two largest users of oil. This would result in the collapse of the American economy, which would cause bank interest rates in the United States to skyrocket, which would be a catastrophe. The United States will suffer a huge setback due to the fact that China alone has US treasuries worth $1 trillion. Even if China does nothing more than withdraw its treasury bonds, the United States will still have $1 trillion, even if China chooses not to buy oil in dollars and thereby sells those bonds, which would be detrimental to the American economy. Fewer in the bonds. On the other hand, Russian President Vladimir Putin recently announced the establishment of the brand new international currency that will be known as the BRICS currency, which will be of great assistance to China and Russia. In addition, China has already mastered the M-Bridge prototype, which is a prototype of an alternative international payment network. This is merely an alternative to the SWIFT protocol for conducting international financial transactions with digital currency issued by central banks. This is a groundbreaking endeavor that is being carried out in conjunction with the Biz Innovation Hub at the Hong Kong Center, the Hong Kong Monetary Authority, the Bank of Thailand, the Digital Currency Institution of the People's Bank, and the Digital Currency Institute of the People's Bank of China. The rising value of gold. Gold, which was traditionally viewed as a safe haven asset, has emerged as a major tool in the armory of the alliance between the BRICS countries and Saudi Arabia. These nations have been amassing significant amounts of gold in an effort to increase the diversity of their currency reserves and decrease their reliance on the United States dollar. Not only does this strategic action strengthen their economic resilience, but it also weakens the standing of the US dollar as the global reserve currency. Consequences for the United States dollar. Diminished worldwide strength as the BRICS nations and Saudi Arabia keep on collecting gold holds. The organization's joined endeavors are sabotaging the US dollar's situation as the transcendent worldwide save money. This decreases the monetary and international influence that has greatly been related to the dollar and limits the capacity of the US to direct the issues of the worldwide monetary market. The steady accumulating of gold by these arising countries is conveying a message to the world local area that elective stores of significant worth are acquiring strength, which has brought about the devaluation of the dollar. This view can bring about a consistent deterioration of the US dollar, which can possibly affect the buying force of the US money as well as its worldwide intensity. The involvement of Saudi Arabia in the BRICS cooperation further magnifies the impact on the value of the US dollar as a result of the shift in energy markets. Because of its state as a significant oil exporter, Saudi Arabia has historically set the prices of its oil sales in dollars, which has contributed to the dollar's preeminent position. But if the BRICS countries and Saudi Arabia start settling their oil deals in gold or other currencies, it may cause a big disturbance in the energy markets and damage the position of the dollar. Realignment of geopolitical power. The alliance between the BRICS countries and Saudi Arabia has larger ramifications for the world's geopolitical power structure. It undermines the order imposed by the United States and fortifies alternative power centers. This transformation in the dynamics of geopolitics might have cascading implications on global politics, trade alliances, and the stability of regional economies. More volatility and uncertainty. Global financial markets are experiencing more volatility and uncertainty as a result of the growing divergence from the US dollar. There is a possibility that investors and financial institutions would reevaluate their positions, which could result in market swings and the reevaluation of traditional investment plans. What impact do you think a BRICS currency would have on the dollar? The US dollar has been the world's primary reserve currency for decades. At present, the dollar is utilized in more than 74% of global trade, 90% of currency exchanges, nearly 100% of oil trades, and just under 60% of foreign currency reserves maintained by central banks. The dollar is held by virtually every central bank in the world because of its role as a primary trading currency and benchmark on the foreign exchange market. The dollar is the most extensively used reserve currency, followed by the euro, the yen, the pound, and the yuan. Despite the fact that its proportion has declined as the euro and the yuan have gained popularity, the BRICS currency is on its way. And according to Putin's proclamation, it will serve as a basket that holds the value of all 5 BRICS currencies: the Brazilian real, the Chinese renminbi, the Indian rupee, and the South African rand. As a result of this basket, it would be semi-decentralized and more stable than the US dollar. Furthermore, economists believe that the currency might be backed by gold, which would give it even more power and stability. On the outside, what we need to know is that if the BRICS succeed in designing their own currency for the first time in half a century, we could once again have a currency backed by gold, which would almost instantly make it the most valuable money on earth. And if Saudi Arabia joins the BRICS, it will be gold and oil that will lay the foundations for the BRICS. Only President Putin knows how this BRICS currency will emerge and function as an international currency. But on the inside, because of this, everyone around the world is keeping a close eye on what Saudi Arabia does and how it will affect the current international order by working with BRICS. Conclusion. The international acquisition of gold by the collaboration between the BRICS countries and Saudi Arabia is altering the global economic landscape and posing a substantial challenge to the supremacy of the US dollar. The United States and the international monetary system are in for some major changes as a result of these growing nations gradually lessening their reliance on the dollar and diversifying their reserve holdings. The rise of gold as a powerful instrument in this relationship sends a clear message. The tides of the global economic power are shifting, and the period of the undisputed domination of the US dollar may be nearing its end. This message is sent by the ascent of gold as a formidable tool in this alliance. Is the possible impact of BRICS and the US currency on gold something you're considering when making decisions? Or is it just another reason to consider diversifying your holdings? Please like this video, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more.